Hey everyone, I'm Finity with Reality Skewed Gamers, and today I'm going to talk to you about a 1-minute kill build for Traunt. Now, Captain Traunt is one of the bosses that a lot of people have farmed anyways prior to the update, but since the update, they've added different loot to the game and also tied different items to particular bosses. And Traunt is actually now tied to a new sniper rifle. Now, this new sniper rifle, called the Tankman Shield, was featured by Glitching Queen recently, and she had mentioned that the drop rate is not that high. She had mentioned that her drop rate is about 3%. I have to tell you, mine was considerably worse. It took me about 75 attempts to even get it to drop once. So you are looking at needing several attempts in order to try and get this Tankman Shield, unless you're getting really lucky. So in order to do so, you're going to need to make sure you have a very fast kill build for Captain Traunt. Now, part of the problem that's happened with Moze recently is that they have changed the flacker, and the flacker, while still effective, is not nearly as effective as it used to be. They've increased the spread of the flacker, and not to mention that Mayhem 4 has actually increased all of the health, so it just doesn't feel as effective for Moze. So in trying to find Captain Traunt, flacker just doesn't seem to cut it anymore. So I found this strategy that works out really well, and the best part about this strategy is that it's pretty flexible with any of your builds with Moze. Now, this may translate to some of the other characters. I haven't tried it yet, but I know with Moze, regardless of your build, whether you're focused heavily on shield, demolition, or bottomless mags, that this build still works because there's 3 items in particular that form the concept of this build. Now, the first one is the handsome jackhammer. Now, the handsome jackhammer has 2 components that are going to be very critical. The first one is innate in the build, which is the fact that the handsome jackhammer on reload is going to explode and bounce on impact. This is what allows you to heal yourself with Moze, because all you're doing is you're going to fire and reload with the handsome jackhammer. However, the important part is the elemental type. Handsome jackhammer comes in several different types, and it's going to be important that you find a shock version of this handsome jackhammer. The second item that you're going to need is the transformer. Now, the transformer is important because it converts shock damage directly back into your shield. So by doing so, when you reload your handsome jackhammer, you're going to be healing yourself and trying to replenish your shields. The other one is an artifact, and the main one you're going to need is the Deathless. Now, the Deathless converts all of your health except for 1 health into shield capacity. But the other part is you need a cut purse Deathless. The reason for the cut purse Deathless is because when you reload the jackhammer, you will use all of the ammo that is stored in the handsome jackhammer. You will quickly run out of ammo in this strategy if you are not careful, and so you need the cut purse in order to melee while you are doing this attack to just replenish your SMG ammo and just keep on doing those reloads. So the cut purse Deathless is going to be the most important part of this in order to keep the strategy time efficient. Now, interestingly enough, I'm not going to focus too much on the build. You can see my build here, but the critical part is actually that the build really did not matter. I tested this with the Shield of Retribution tree. I tested this with more of the Demolition Woman. I also tested with more of a bottomless mags. Those 3 items, the handsome jackhammer, the transformer, and the cut purse Deathless, those 3 combined is really what made this build actually be able to survive and do this damage. So regardless of what your build is for Moze, as long as you have those 3 items, you are going to be able to replicate this. However, if you are looking for certain ones in particular that will help you, I would refer you to the Shield of Retribution tree, and in particular trying to increase the shield of Moze just so she can't take any burst damage and fall. So you would want to look at certain things like armored infantry in order to reduce any damage that she takes, because you are going to be taking damage being so close to Traunt in this battle. Vladoff Ingenuity is also going to be useful because it's going to increase your max shield. Now, the shock damage resistance, not as important because you're going to be using the transformer. So this one is mainly to increase the shields. Similarly, you're going to be looking at Thin Red Line, which converts some of the health into shield, but you're going to be losing that health anyway. So this is basically just a free shield boost. If you're looking for places to put skill points in order to help you with these builds, this is going to be the 3 that you're going to want. Now, the strategy for this attack is pretty straightforward. You jump down to Traunt, you run right to his feet, you're going to fire at his feet, and basically after every shot, you're just going to spam that reload and start knocking down your handsome jackhammer. You're going to see as your shield drops, it's going to rise right back because you're going to be healed by that shield. Now, one question that a lot of people have about this build is, does the incendiary damage of Moze really affect anything? And the answer is yes. It does cause Moze to take some damage. However, you heal so much more from what the handsome jackhammer does that the fire is actually negligible, and it actually adds more damage to Traunt. So if you want to have some of that incendiary splash damage that comes with some of the Moze build, it should not be a problem as long as you have the shock handsome jackhammer and the transformer. Now, one thing in particular to note, you can reload the handsome jackhammer pretty much anywhere in the general vicinity and it should be able to heal you. However, in some experiments, I found that the best place to target is right between the tip of both of his feet. So if you draw an imaginary line between his feet and you find the middle point, I have found that most of the damage happens to him if you target at that point. That gives you the most efficient kill to try and get through this very quickly. The kills on Traunt usually went anywhere between 30 seconds to about 50 seconds, depending on if I needed to do more melee attacks than other times. If you go straight with the reload, you can make it through in about 30 seconds. However, on your next attempt, you are going to end up low on ammo, so the following one you will have to do some melee attacks or make your way to the ammo machine at the top. With the recent update, they have added an ammo machine just before the drop to Traunt, so if you restart the game in order to do another run on Traunt and you're low on ammo, head to the machine first, that way you don't necessarily have to do extra melee attacks on him. Now, on a quick note, in the latest update, they have now increased the drop rate of particular items and tied it to particular bosses, and so if you're looking for these 3 items, where you want to look is for Handsome Jackie in order to drop the jackhammers, so you can try and get yourself a shock version of it. You can get the Deathless from Phoenix in the Splinterlands, and of course, the Transformer you can get from Kilovolt. Now, there are a lot of other ways that you can get this as well. All of these are world drops, so you can find these dropping in other places. They're not necessarily boss specific. However, these bosses do have an increased chance of dropping these, so if you are looking for these, those would be a good place to go. So with that, I am Infinity with Reality Skewed Gamers. Hopefully this is going to be helpful as you guys are farming the Tankman shield or any other item that you can get, because Traunt is a pretty good kill for legendaries. Please make sure that if you guys aren't, you follow us on YouTube, but also make sure you check out our Twitch page. We do live streams of Borderlands 3 over there. It's twitch.tv/realityskewedgamers. And with that, I am Infinity with Reality Skewed Gamers signing out.